Happy Home Fire Sprinkler Week. Let's take some time and talk about some frequently asked questions that I get around home fire sprinkler systems, and specifically NFPA 13D. Now, before we get to the questions, I want to talk real quick about the differences between NFPA 13, the standard for the installation of sprinkler systems, and NFPA 13D, which is the standard for the installation of sprinkler systems in 1 and 2 family dwelling units and manufactured homes. And the biggest difference comes down to the difference in system goals. Now, an NFPA 13D system has one goal. The goal is to provide life safety by giving occupants 10 minutes prior to flashover so they can get out of the building safely. An NFPA 13 system is providing both life safety, so giving time for the occupants to get out, as well as protecting the property. So a 13D system is just looking at life safety, and we see the reason why we're just looking at life safety is we're trying to provide a cost-effective solution so that these get installed in as many homes as possible, right? So that's why you're going to see a lot of requirements in 13D will balance between cost-effectiveness and life safety. We're trying to provide life safety and keep it as cost-effective as possible. Now let's get into some of those questions. Now, the first question that I get often is, what are some of the allowable water supplies for these types of systems? And there's a couple different options. So NFPA 13D allows you to do a multi-purpose type system, which means you actually use the same piping for your domestic water in your entire building, and that's also supplying water to the sprinklers. Or you can use your domestic water supply like this and have a separate, so we've got domestic coming out on the left and our fire sprinkler system on the right. You can use that combined. You can use your domestic water supply. You can also utilize a tank and a pump. And what's different about that than, say, an NFPA 13 system is the tank and the pump don't have to be listed. Also, we're only looking for a water supply that's either 10, sometimes as low as 7 minutes, because again, we're just trying to give time for those occupants to get out prior to flashover. So given the lower flow rates of these types of systems, as well as that limited time, the tank might be as small as 250 gallons. So that's a pretty small water tank that we're talking about in that basement. And also, you can use wells for supplying that water, so that is an option as well. So the requirements for water supplies for these types of systems are very different. Again, we're just providing that life safety, not providing that property protection. We're just giving time for the occupants to get out in time prior to flashover. Another question I get is, how do we put sprinklers in unfinished basements? NFPA 13D simply says that if the sprinkler piping itself doesn't require there to be a ceiling for the protection of the sprinkler piping, and for the most sprinkler piping that we're going to be using for these types of systems, either going to be listed to be exposed or you can use a metallic piping, we don't need to be putting a ceiling in. So you just anticipate that there is a ceiling, and that's how you calculate your spacing. And then if someone ever comes in and finishes a basement like this, the sprinklers are already in the proper location. We get asked, do we need a Waterflow alarm for a home fire sprinkler system? The answer is no, you probably don't. If you have smoke alarms in your home per NFPA 72, which is the National Fire Alarm and Signaling Code, then you don't need to have a Waterflow alarm installed. Again, the smoke alarms are going to be providing much more early warning than the Waterflow alarm would be providing, so it is not required to be installed. People will ask if we are required to be putting sprinklers within closets. The answer is no. Sprinklers are not required in closets that are less than 24 square feet or 2.2 square meters, provided that the entire closet is lined with a non-combustible or limited combustible construction. Similarly to closets, bathrooms that are less than 55 square feet or 5.1 square meters are not required to be sprinklered. And that's because data shows that fires starting in closets or bathrooms are, first of all, very unlikely. And second of all, if they do occur, they don't lead to deaths within the home. So the added benefit versus the cost of adding the sprinkler in these spaces was seen to not be required as far as providing that life safety, which again is that goal of NFPA 13D. Now in this case, I decided to go ahead and put a sprinkler in this bathroom. This is a relatively small bathroom, but I was already running piping on the other side of this wall to put a sprinkler in the stairwell. So we decided to go ahead and put one in the bathroom just because it was fairly simple. And finally, many ask, well, do I need to have a contractor come in and do all the required inspection, testing, and maintenance per NFPA 25, which is the standard for the inspection, testing, and maintenance of water-based fire protection systems? The answer is no. NFPA 13D does not require you to follow NFPA 25 for the inspection, testing, and maintenance of water-based systems. Instead, it simply says that the installer, so the contractor, needs to provide the owner with information needed to perform their own inspection, testing, and maintenance on these systems. So that's looking for things like making sure the control valves are open, making sure we're not hanging items from sprinklers or damaging the sprinklers themselves, making sure we're keeping the sprinkler system above 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 degrees Celsius to make sure it's not freezing. So there's many things that the owner is able to do all of their own inspection, testing, and maintenance on these types of systems. So I hope that answered some questions that you might have about NFPA 13D home fire sprinklers. And again, don't forget to check out the NFPA Fire Sprinkler Initiative and the Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition. I'm also going to link a couple blogs in the description below that goes over talking about the differences between NFPA 13D, 13, and NFPA 13R as far as sprinkler design, and talking a little bit more about some of the water supply differences. Now, as always, stay informed and stay safe.